Here we go. Okay. What else can go wrong? Okay. Opener in 5, 4, 3. Here comes 2, 1. 38 seconds. 38.
Why can't we apply that power directly? But if it's our mind that can invent gods, and if from them flows such power, why can't we apply that power directly? But if it's our mind that can invent gods, and if from them flows such power.
Hello and welcome to the worst movie ever made, an experimental movie podcast designed with one thing in mind to find the worst movie ever made. I'm your host, Chris Ackman. I'm joined by my co-host, development scientist, Rob Scucci, and Bob Hasek. Hey guys, how are you and why are we doing Megalopolis?
For how I am, I'm going to respond with a clip. Ready?
Yeah.
So I had a last minute update that pushed
That was the fucking weirdest point of the entire movie.
Yes.
So strange. So strange.
Last minute update pushed my our scheduled recording time back by a half hour. But thank God we watched Megalopolis this week.
Oh,
because
goodness.
we know all about time manipulation and we'll somehow get that time back on the back end of all of this suffering.
Yeah, true.
How are you, Bob? Do you want to describe this turd? You can try polishing it as much as you want. It'll still be a piece of shit.
I'm not. I can't polish it. It's not a polishable piece of turd movie. I just can't believe it's as bad as it really is. But I will explain it after the bumper.
All right, cool.
Bob, what are you doing over there? Explain yourself. And while you're at it, explain the movie.
All right.
Is that the end?
Yep.
All right. All right. So the alliteration as follows: Caesar screws Cicero's sweetheart, stops seconds, and survives shooting. Wow.
You always surprise me with how good those two are. Good.
But they're not. It's not. For this one, I'm disappointed because it's so convoluted. So here we go.
It is.
I don't think I can quite explain this story completely. So I'll try to keep it brief, but it's probably going to be long. I didn't rehearse this. Here we go.
Good luck.
Architect Cesare Catalina wants to build a utopian city out of some new building material that he discovered called megalon. He's crazy rich. He's crazy rich, and the people who surround him are also rich. And most of the city, however, lives in poverty. It's like some kind of society where there's like the haves and the have-nots.
Future.
Yes. A woman named Wow, and sorry, that was very Christopher Walken of me. Wow. A woman named Wow and a guy named Claudio try to take over the richest person's bank account to stop Caesar Catalina and have power. Ultimately they fail and Caesar builds Megalopolis, and even though that wasn't like a totally succinct description, I've saved all of you from having to watch this completely steaming pile of feces.
Yeah.
I mean, Bob, you know what advantage you have with this, it's not a test, but this segment, is that the longer it takes you to explain it, the worse we know the movie is. So
yeah.
I tried so hard to keep it short, I couldn't do it.
You can.
And
there's too much going on.
The audience that hasn't watched the movie have to know by this point how bad it is.
They have to watch it too, but they have to watch it.
All right,
Like, you
here's a
really
question.
have to watch this. Yeah.
Here's a question. Would you rather your name be Claudio or Shia?
Claudio.
Yeah.
Me too. Okay.
I feel
Let's
like
throw the best YouTube comment.
if your name's Claudio, you're laying down the pipe. If your name's Shia, you're taking it.
Hell yeah, you are.
All right, YouTube comments.
Right in your
This
love
YouTube
blood.
comment makes me wanna. Oh, it makes me wanna. Oh my god, it makes me wanna. So, one person walked out during the anti-WoW scene, parentheses, by the way, Aubrey Plaza, I think I'm beginning to love you, end parentheses. And after the end credits, the last one out before me turns to me and goes, that was unexpected. Laughter ensued. I took a chance on Megalopolis and I have no regrets. Make no mistake, it's a piece of shit. But it's a beautiful, fascinating piece of shit that, for better or worse, will be studied by film historians for decades to come. If that's what Godfather Coppola intended, then mission accomplished.
I don't think that's what Coppola was intending.
Coppola, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Personally.
yeah. I think he's 85 years old and he finally had the resources to make this thing he's been trying to do for like 40 years.
Yeah, apparently he's been trying to like. Okay, so I'm going to say it right now so that Bob can't use it. But my interpretation was that, you know how scientists have like a theory of everything?
Yeah.
Well, this was Coppola's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told Bob, I was like, here's some altruism. You can use that nugget that I just said off air. And then I was like, go ahead and use it. I won't tell anybody. And then I immediately rushed to it. Right up front. Big win.
Yeah.
Big win for Chris. Nice job, Chris.
Yeah.
All right, let's throw it to test number 1. Ain't that a pitch?
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth!
My job sucks.
Well, I'm sold. That's a pitch.
All right, it's me, Chris Bob, this week, I think. So I'll wet my beak on this. Devastation plagues the new Rome, but Mr. Caesar Salad wants to make it a new home. To fix all that's broken, how much weed is Coppola smoking? 2 hours of brain rot straight to the dome.
Fuck yeah, man. I struggled to know where to like punchline this one too, but
yeah, I did too. Yeah, this is a good one. That was good though.
That was good.
Thank you.
What was
That
this
so
I
kind of you
watched?
guys.
What was this I watched? Honestly, not sure. Roman Empire still exists, a concept with allure, but the message was too lofty, political, and off-key. Adam Driver is ugly, and this movie should be ignored.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't have it anywhere in my script, but I'm really sick of Adam Driver being the heartthrob of movies at this point.
Yeah.
it's like Maggie Gyllenhaal, like same arena for me. Just like ugly people that people find attractive because they're famous, I guess.
Yeah.
Mine is gonna stir some controversy. Here we go. With a budget and ego so inflated, this movie was somehow created. An annoying architect acts like an asshole, contributing to chaos and competing for control. And the Godfather is overrated.
Bob 5.
Wow.
I'll go Bob
Wow.
5. Is it because it insists upon itself, Bob? You ever see the Family Guy? You guys ever see that?
Yeah,
They're all gonna die, and Peter's like, "I didn't care for the Godfather. It insists upon itself."
Yes,
what does that even mean?
That. I have seen that. Of course, I've seen that. And the fact that I used alliteration within my pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he deserves it this time. I'll take it.
It deserves a 5. Yeah.
I have a win. I have a loss. I'll take it. Bob, good job. 5-star. Also, I agree. Godfather is overrated.
Yeah.
The whole trilogy as a piece. It's like a B.
I've only seen the first 2, and the second one, honestly, it was probably more entertaining than the first one.
Yeah, the first one's pretty dull. But you guys want to talk about how The Godfather is overrated more, or do you want to go to test number 2, the most offensive?
Let's move on.
Let's keep it moving.
A day without sex is a day wasted, man.
The most offensive.
All right.
Number.
Oh, that's fucking so.
I'm sorry.
One day I'll get used to this.
5.
sudden swastika stump.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, that was a stump.
How
Sudden
come?
swastika stump. I don't know. Because we can't let go of, like... Yes, Nazis are supremely evil. But, like... So didn't Stalin kill, like, orders of magnitude way more people? It could have been, like, a hammer and sickle stump.
Yeah.
You know?
And what was his name? Pot something.
Chicken
I'm a little
pot
drunk
pie.
already. I can't. Yeah,
All right.
chicken pot pie. He killed like millions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
Mao Zedong, Genghis Khan. Like there's other measuring sticks for
Pol
evil
Pot, Pol Pot.
aside Pol Pot,
Pol Pot,
aside
yeah.
from Hitler. Hitler's
Yeah.
awful. He's a household name. He's like the Metallica. Bill Burr had a bit where, like, you know, Hootie and the Blowfish sold way more records than, you know, like Thriller or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like no one's gonna say, like, come out to the show, they're the next Hootie, you know?
Well, that's to my point though, because like Hitler is still, and the Nazis are still like the number one because it's the most modern, like, mass genocide.
It's the most recognized.
Yeah,
Their
well-
branding was on point with their Hugo Boss and their little
True,
armbands.
true. I mean, all well and good, but
Yeah.
you know, like too close to modern era. Pol Pot and, like, you know, Genghis Khan and stuff. Like, yeah, I kind of get it because, like, tribalism back then, you know, was like more acceptable. Let's kill you know, the people that aren't us. But like the Germans
Right.
should have known a little better, you know. Like,
Right.
we're all human, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Anyway, this is not the kind of we're not a genocide pod. We're a bad movie pod. So let's throw it to number.
Yes.
4.
Labeouf and Voight. I'm sorry. Voight
Go
just
on.
because blech, you know, like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
tickling his daughter
Voight-
and all that.
Voight is blech. Yes.
But Labeouf is a racist.
Yeah.
And he's also a domestic abuser.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't, you know, take 30 seconds and look him up on Wikipedia and see what he's done. He's been arrested many, many times for alcohol abuse, but I don't think you're suddenly racist when you get drunk. I think you were racist and you got drunk and your mouth got a little too big for your britches.
Yeah.
And you were racist to a police officer. And anyone who hits a woman, no matter how drunk you are, deserves to be on the most offensive list. So there you have it.
Yes.
Labeouf
Yes.
and Voight. Ugh.
Yeah.
Voight, yeah. Number
Agreed. 3.
ruining our recollection of the Romans
Yeah.
in real
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, real time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the Romans would be this fucking lame. No. If the Roman Empire never died, I don't know that anyone could stop time. I'm pretty sure they couldn't. Even if the Romans were modern. So that's the cool thing that they do. But I also don't think that they would be like 16-year-old virgin is the thing that we have to have a parade around. And they wouldn't be as corny as they are in this movie.
Yeah.
Well, I have more. I don't know. I guess I'll leave it for later. But number
2.
don't tread on me, toss away, tip off to the political partisan nature of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's at the end of the movie. It's kind of a throwaway line, but Shia LaBeouf's Claudio character has been riling up a riot for the last quarter of the movie, where it decides to get American political.
Yeah.
Because it hadn't been before that. And you get the kind of idea where power to the people thing from a masked rich person source. They're going after Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and never is it more apparent. And I'm not saying that I agree with Donald Trump's movement. I don't. But the don't tread on me. Do you guys remember this specific moment that I'm talking about, where
It's at the end where like he's been had, but he's still trying to rally the people. Like, no government, no unity. We need unity, and it's like,
right.
It's clearly like fake mustache.
It's after he gets shot in the
Yeah.
ass twice with arrows.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and he's like trying to like say whatever he can to get them to not.
He's desperate.
Him.
Yeah. He's desperate.
And they don't hang him; they hang him upside down by his foot, so it's less severe. Which is just like, oh my god, give me a break! Like, be an adult and like make a decision in this movie. But he's like, don't tread on me, which is immediately the tip. Like, you didn't, and I felt like they did this a number of times in this movie that I found offensive. They gave away what should have been the subtle hint to the audience. Like, the audience isn't stupid.
Oh, there's a lot of that. We'll probably cover that in the catch-all a little bit. I got a couple in my mind, and I normally sit out there in the catch-all. Yeah,
it drives me crazy. It's like Coppola is like, I'm a genius, so these people will not understand the message that I'm trying to.
They're below his intellect.
They will not get it unless I make it obvious. So don't tread on me. But there are a myriad of examples. So there's that one. But we have our first clip of the day at number 1.
Sorry.
1.
There we go.
This is Anaconda.
We came to pay our respects, Grandpa.
What do you think of this boner I got? Look at that. I'm off. If it wasn't for this.
What do you think of this boner?
I'll spend you in the end. But I will outlive you. Wow, you Wall Street slut. This is your closing bell.
What? No. Auntie, wow. No.
In my notes, I wrote down John Voight's crossboner.
Oh, that's better than mine. You'll see what mine is in the offensive minigame. So at the end of the episode, you will hear us compare this movie to the last movie we did, our season champion, in how bad and offensive it is. I will also have a crossbow boner joke. We'll see what that is later. So there's your foreshadowing. Yeah, just now we had John Voight talking about his 16-inch erection. Turns out it wasn't a 16-inch erection. It wasn't an anaconda at all. It was a bow and arrow under his blanket. Which, by the way, he's like 100. So I don't think he would have gotten enough torque to kill anyone. I feel like it would have bounced off of Aubrey's boobies, and
it would have been like throwing a paper airplane into a cup of soup. just like fizzle out.
Yeah, but it's like soup you left in the fridge for the whole day.
Yeah.
So
it's got that film on the top.
Yeah. It would have just been like poof.
The soup skin.
It would have been like Labeouf. All right, Rob, let's throw it to your ad read.
Sure.
Payoffs and greed were always the priority of my company. Like many companies, I'm afraid of going to prison. They now know my crimes.
Speaking of greed, here's Rob's ad read.
Today's episode of The Worst Movie Ever Made is brought to you by Hot Dogs at 3 a.m.'s new line of nibblers, Just the Tip. Like biting off the end pieces and swishing those delightful little nuggets of mechanically separated hog anus between your teeth and gums? It's better than those nicotine chiclets that you've been mashing with reckless abandon ever since your wife all but forced you to stop going to the all-male, all-nude vape lounge. You can't even smell Tutti Frutti Pebble Ice Cream Delight E-Juice without popping a chub, and your taste buds are annihilated at this point. As you earn back your family's trust, maybe we suggest chewing on Just the Tip. Its factory second, sinewy texture is just the form of flagellation you need to be able to look your kids in the eyes after you come home from a secret and rough night of getting spanked pink by your colleagues while everybody thinks you're out golfing with a client. Just the Tip. Pay for your crime. One bite.
Pay for your crime, but one bite at a time. I love it.
Yes.
I cannot wait to go back to work and get spanked pink by my colleagues. So thank you, Hot Dogs at 3 a.m. Just the tip. What a nice, exciting, brand new brand from Hot Dogs at 3 a.m. We really appreciate your support. Let's throw it to test number 3. This is the worst dialogue.
Yo, I'm out of here. Where you going? Across the street to Slinger Schlong.
As much as I love it, it's still some of the worst dialogue. This is the worst dialogue.
Oh, right.
This dialogue is bad.
It's really bad.
Number 5. String theory.
Do you know that there is string theory? Do you know what that means? That there are 11 dimensions. It hasn't been proven yet, but that's what they think. It's sort of strings, you know? Isn't that interesting? You know, when you got that Nobel Prize, why didn't you mention my name? You could have gotten up and you could have said, to my mother.
I was very sick.
You could have said.
I forgot. I'm sorry.
I don't think so. They don't know I'm your mother. When you're with her, you're finally able to forget me.
No.
No?
No.
Ah, that hurt. He hurt me. You hurt me.
I was kissing you, Mother.
He hurt me. I was kissing you, Mother.
I don't know, mommy issues thing that doesn't play ever again in the movie. I don't understand why this was a scene.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Why mom at all? Why mommy problems?
Yeah.
She knows about string theory and that they propose that there are 11 dimensions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to think that that's where he got his curiosity because she's curious.
Yeah.
I guess. Has she even heard of eHarmony? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. No, she has not.
She? Well, because eHarmony has 29 different dimensions.
That's true.
And, I think string theory 11. That's kid stuff. We're talking eHarmony, 29 different dimensions.
Yeah.
Number 4. This is Soul.
Well, Cicero, there are only 2 things impossible to stare at very long. The sun and your own soul.
This is straight Neil Breen, dude. This is straight Neil Breen.
That really was.
This aspires to be Neil Breen.
I think I'd rather watch a Neil Breen movie.
There's literal, I am CEO of the bank and other insurance companies.
I and other insurance companies?
Yes. Me, yes.
I think it's on it's either I Am Here Now or Pass Through, but they're in a mansion and they're all talking about their evil plans and Neil Breen's just standing there and he goes, isn't that corrupt? And then everybody pauses for an awkward amount of time. And then it goes to the next room, they say something else. He's like, isn't that morally wrong? Isn't that corrupt? This whole movie reminds me of that.
Shouldn't we not do that?
Rob is too far into the brain machine.
I'm not coming out.
He's gone.
It's like the Wonka factory. You gotta the only way out is through. You know?
Yeah, right. Yeah. He's too far in the chute.
Yeah.
He's diluting all the chocolate.
Number
3. This is a little shaky.
All right, foreshadowing. I like it.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep You say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to? It is a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep. To sleep. Chance to dream. There's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause.
For our watching audience, he does this a lot in the movie.
Yeah, he does. And for our listening, he just shook his hands around and like convulsed.
Yes.
Yes, Rob did.
He did. And you know why? Because he was like trying to interpret through dance a little Shakespeare. Yeah. And this is what pisses off about this segment. It's going to be interesting. I'm sorry. You can't just quote Shakespeare and have nothing to do with anything.
Why is it
in the
always
movie.
Shakespeare? Why is it always
Because
Shakespeare?
Because it's related enough to American English that you can understand the words and kind of sort of put it together.
But it's in metaphor, so it sounds deep.
It's right. Yeah. It's supposed to be a metaphor for whatever. Yeah. And the dumb people that are watching the movie are like, I get it. And they don't, because it doesn't tie into the movie in any meaningful way. So it's just a way to make 80% of your audience feel like they're watching something smart, which they aren't. It's just him coming out with a fucking veil and then saying some Shakespeare and sounding cool, but he doesn't. He sounds like a fucking idiot. I hate this movie. Fuck this. Number 2. This is wasting time.
I guess you could say my love of science bumped up against a brick wall of intellectual vigor on the subject of jellyfish. Their mesoglia material is a flexible skeleton, unique. Until encountering something higher, almost spiritual.
What?
Like the megalon.
She wanted to be into science until she learned about the science involved.
Expired.
Nobel Prizes don't expire.
I meant your medication.
What I'm curious about is the mayor's take on your absurd behavior.
You ask my father about people living as I do, and he's shocked.
What's shocking about you?
I want to be the Statue of Liberty.
I see. The gossip columns say that you and...
Ooh, you read gossip columns? Whatever for?
To waste time.
You have so much of it, you can waste it.
Sometime.
Oh my God.
What are they fucking talking about?
She wanted
They're
to be
talking
into
about nothing.
She wanted to be into science until she learned it was an academic discipline that was beyond her ability to be somewhat arousing.
Is this the United States? Because if it is, the Statue of Liberty makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
But if it's New Rome, the Statue of Liberty makes no fucking sense.
No, New Rome is New York. They call New York New Rome, I think. I think they said that, or at least I wrote that in my head as I was watching it to make it make sense.
It's an alternate America. An alternate world where
that's what drove me fucking crazy.
Some things are supposed to make sense, but some things aren't, and that fucking drives me crazy. Because is it U.S.? Is it not U.S.?
Yeah,
it's not the U.S. It's supposed to be New Rome.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with America until it wants to have a political lean 20% left of the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 1. I had more to say about Cliff. Oh.
You know what? Fuck it. I wanted to be with you alone and talk about the weather. All right. What?
You don't have the clip? You don't have it?
My soundboard's being weird, and I don't want to push my luck. Something happens and I'm
over you go.
Oh no.
Number
I had the lyrics up and
1
everything.
is afraid.
Yeah.
Catalina, you said that as we jump into the future, we should do so unafraid. But what if when we do jump into the future, there is something to be afraid of?
That's the worst. That's, in my opinion, that's the worst line in the movie.
Yeah.
And it sets up a scene that is entirely unnecessary, and it does nothing for the rest of the film.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going for. So it's a reporter, and he's like, "You said that like jumping into the future, we should like not be afraid to jump into the future. But what if there's something to be afraid of if we jump into the future?" And I thought about having like another 45 seconds of the clip where Adam Driver is like, "Yeah, but if you love someone, you don't have to be afraid of that because love is like the coolest thing that there is."
And then the other guy was
if
like,
you love someone.
And the other guy was like, "Well, what if you were afraid of it, though?"
Yeah, and it's like, "Yeah, but if you love somebody, you don't have like." It's like a conversation between two complete fucking idiots that have no idea what they're talking about, and I just really loved the. What if there is something to be afraid of, though? It's like, okay, well, I mean, I don't know what to do for you.
I never thought about it that way.
Right.
Wow, so fucking stupid. All right, Bob, take it away. This is test number 4, the worst production.
All right, this will take 40 minutes.
My job sucks.
Yeah, so does your production, you skank.
Rob's not wrong. It's not going to take 40 minutes, but
I'm going to sit
did
back here and listen.
I did break this up into 2 segments. I broke this up into worst pre-production and worst production. So worst pre-production is rejected. So the studio system rejected this script and screenplay because it's not good. So what happened was, because all the studios said, no, we're not making this movie, Francis Ford Coppola self-financed this at $120 million from proceeds from his wine company. And that's the worst pre-production. And now for the worst actual production. This is all more opinion than it is fact. Sloppy is what I'm calling it.
It is so
sloppy, dude. I'm gonna say the lighting used makes the movie look two-dimensional at times, if not all times. There's very little use of shadow and mood. The sound design sounded like every major and minor character was directly in front of a microphone. Like you heard everyone's voice at the same volume the whole time. The characters are stiff and unbelievable.
Yeah.
Is there a story? I don't know. Is there a story?
No.
Basically, here's the thing. If you guys want to take 10 minutes out of your day tomorrow, the wiki page for this movie is insufferably long and detailed about its philosophies, themes, inspirations. It's nearly as annoying as the movie itself.
Not quite. But nearly.
You haven't seen the wiki page. It's crazy long.
That's fine, but at least it's for people that seek it out and weren't just trying to go have a good time in the movies.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
You're right, Bob. It's like it was like a stage production with like one camera. It wasn't even multi-shot. For as impressive as some of the special effects were, it was just like camera in the middle of the scene, and then, like you said, that same volume from across the entire stage.
Well, here's something else about the cameras. They actually fired most of the special effects crew.
Of course they did.
Because he wanted to have like more like Marvel like special effects. Like he wanted like more digital effects that were more like the superhero movies, and his budget wouldn't allow it. So he had to actually convert to green screen technology, which is at this point ancient.
Yeah.
And you can tell because it's really cheap looking.
Neil Breen did that with Cade Tortured Crossing. It was shot entirely on green screen.
Exactly. And you're right. You're not wrong at all.
Rob, please, at every opportunity, mention a Neil Breen fact. I want us to be the source. I want you to give our audience more Neil Breen facts than they can get if they went to his website.
The thing is, I watched them all so fast back to back. I'm not sure which movie is which sometimes in my head canon, so I gotta watch them again.
Well, they're kind of all the same, aren't they?
They are. Adam Driver's character is Neil Breen. He's got godlike powers. He's smarter than everybody. He is the savior of humanity. Everybody else is stupid. He's an architect. And Neil Breen is an architect who self-finances his movies, and Francis Ford Coppola is an idiot at this point in his life who finances his own movie.
And every hot woman on the film wants to fuck him.
And you see more guys' ass than you see tits. Basically. So the parallels are staggering.
All right, let's throw it to test number 5. This is the worst acting.
Yeah.
He killed himself! He killed himself!
You can keep saying the words, but your acting's not getting any better. This is the worst acting.
Number
1, Daddy.
Steel.
Which is why Megalopolis will be built entirely out of the Megalon, which is imperishable.
The Megalon is unsafe. Concrete, and steel is safe.
Why?
All I know is I'm trying to make sense of the budget. I'm trying to make sense of the budget in my head. I think it's a star power. They probably paid Dustin Hoffman $15 million just to say those 2 lines.
Yeah. You're probably right. I didn't research that, but you're probably right.
And steel. Ka-ching. Number 2. Okay, the aforementioned, the foreshadowed, a lot shaky.
Rather than just design the form or shape of an object, we can actually design at the cellular level. We can actually design at the cellular level. We can actually design at the cellular level.
Ladies and gentlemen, State Farm! Ladies and gentlemen, wait! Ladies and gentlemen! Ladies and gentlemen!
Bring me down! Bring me down!
Ladies and gentlemen, wait, ladies and gentlemen. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. In heaven's name, Catalina, how long will you try our patience? How long will this madness of yours mock us?
Hey, buddy, don't look at your nose in the mirror, because it's not where it used to be.
All right, well, that's our clip of the week that you should go to YouTube to find. And Rob, where could they see that?
Oh, yeah, if you go to www.theworstmovieevermade.com, every Sunday, the YouTube version goes up. We are going to get so many copyright takedowns for this one because against this $180 million budget, it only made 13. And the pattern I've learned after doing 180 of these is the movies that actually are financially successful, there's never a copyright takedown. It's the ones that need to earn the money back.
Yeah.
That are super aggressive. So I can't wait to see how this is going to shake out. So probably Sunday, maybe Monday. We'll see.
Maybe Monday, dudes. And that's okay.
Excuse me.
If you want to watch bad physical acting, check out that clip. It's a lot shaky, but we have one more for you for this episode. Unless Rob wants to play another abuser. Who knows?
Oh, yeah. We'll you know what? Might as well. Let's do this one right here.
Entitles me?
Yes.
Entitles me?
Yes.
Entitles me?
Yes.
And you know what?
God, I hate them so much. I hate everyone involved in this project.
For good measure, let's just go ahead and.
That was Adam Driver realizing that everyone just discovered that he's ugly, and he's gonna have no leading man roles after this movie.
Yeah.
Which I'm so sorry, Adam Driver. You're in good shape, but you're an ugly human. And you and Maggie Gyllenhaal go elope and make ugly kids on some island somewhere where no one.
And they'll look exactly like the hard-boiled egg he was whacking with a spoon in the first act.
Yeah.
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
All right, number.
Oh, this is number 3.
I'm just going for fun. This is A New Hope.
Oh, Julia, there is no one like you, having such beautiful things in your home. And I understand it can expand as needed.
Well, yes. Now that we're going to have a baby.
What?
Oh, darling.
If it's a girl, she'll be given the name Sunny Hope. And if it's a boy, he'll be named Francis.
Oh, Julia.
Oh, after Ford Coppola.
Daddy.
I just caught that.
Daddy, please. Daddy, look at me. In my eyes. It's me. Could I love someone evil?
I think that was a good one to end on because the biggest disappointment in this movie was Giancarlo Esposito. Like, being the
that guy.
fizziest fucking douche I've ever seen.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But Rob, you nailed it. The reason it was my last clip of the day is because we're talking. I call it A New Hope because Adam Driver is involved, and I wanted to make a Star Wars reference because I've seen Adam Driver in Star Wars, so I call it A New Hope. But they're gonna name their daughter Sunny Hope
or Francis.
Francis. Why Francis, guys?
Yeah, exactly. Why Francis?
Why do you think? Rob, you said it already.
They could have named it like Hope Cage or something, you know?
Well, you know that the guy from Breaking Bad, the El Pollo Loco guy.
Right.
His character name is Frank. Right. His character name is Frank.
They do something there, but definitely 100%, no doubt about it. He was like, "This is my legacy. I am Francis Ford Coppola. You should name your kid after me. If you have a child who is a boy, you should name them Francis, and maybe be Frank." It's not Frankfurt. It's Francis.
Yeah.
He does some like very holy shit, fuck you kind of. I think he really, really committed to this movie. Really, really thought it was going to be a Hollywood blockbuster success.
Yeah.
I think he saw things in this movie that didn't exist that everybody would understand, and I think that he deserves to be shunned for this. To be excommunicado.
Yeah.
He deserves to be he should not be allowed to make another movie. He should be like the guy from Penn State, Joey whatever. Who watched a kid get molested and didn't do anything about it. Like that's how we should treat him. You know?
That's what he did. He molested cinema.
He
irreparably.
molested cinema.
And we all witnessed it.
Yeah. Joe Paterno. He should be treated like with Joe Paterno.
Joe Paterno / Jerry Sandusky.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Jerry Sandusky he deserves death. I'm not sure that Coppola does, but he should never be allowed to make another movie.
Wouldn't it be funny if this was like one of two passion projects, and 40 years later, when he's 120 years old, he bangs out another one?
Yeah, it's the last Star Wars movie where he comes back as the evil emperor.
Yeah.
He shoots lightning out of his hands and then comes up with a theory of everything. And we're all super impressed. Let's start to fact or no fact.
Oh, by the way, are you seeing another therapist now?
No. There is no one else.
Are you sure about that?
I am not seeing any other therapists.
Sounds like Bob foolery.
There are no other therapists.
Fact. Or no fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Obviously, I'm calling this fact or no fact Megalopolis.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that.
This is going to be a pretty quick one. And this is not going to be up for much debate, and you're going to hate me for this one, but here we go. All of the following actors were offered the role of Caesar Catalina at one point in time, except for one.
Cool.
Okay.
Nicolas Cage, Brad Pitt, Christian Bale, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jude Law. Which one was not offered the role of Caesar Catalina? And keep in mind, this has been in production
since 77, right?
Pre 9/11. Let's just say that 9/11 was a breaking point for this movie, but it's been in production since almost before 9/11. Around 9/11.
As much as I want to say Nicolas Cage, I don't think he's ever done. Has he ever been in a straight up Coppola film? Because he always tried separating himself from the nepotism, which is why he changed his name. But that doesn't mean he wouldn't be offered it, and he turned it down for that reason. But my gut is telling me. Here's the thing. Okay. Because I was talking about with you guys off air about I Heart Huckabees, and that's got Dustin Hoffman, that's got Jason Schwartzman, that's got Jude Law. And I feel like for some reason those people are connected. So Jude Law makes sense because he was associated with Hoffman and Schwartzman, who are also in this movie. But Nicolas Cage, the nepotism possibly. Brad Pitt? I don't see Brad Pitt doing this. I think, but he could have been offered. This is fucking tricky. I'm gonna say Brad Pitt. I think people would have, even Coppola would have thought like Brad Pitt, like during whatever late 90s, early aughts, he'd be like, oh no, he's too cool for this. But Christian Bale like has a track record of like kind of playing a weird, eccentric sociopath. Patrick Bateman, like American Hustle guy, I forget his name, but like fits the profile better. Same with DiCaprio, same with Jude Law. Brad Pitt. I'm gonna say Brad Pitt wasn't offered the role. I want to say Nicolas Cage, but I'm gonna say Brad Pitt.
Just based on popularity alone, it's the only thing I have to go on other than the Coppola connection with Cage. I'm tempted to go Cage. I always say the one that I'm not picking so that like I can get like half credit from the audience for like knowing which one it was.
Whatever helps you sleep at night, Chris.
But I'm gonna go with Jude Law because he like what Sherlock Holmes when he was second fiddle to Robert Downey Jr. Like that's when he was most popular. I don't know. I'm gonna go Jude Law.
So at between 1990 something and 2024 or 2023, every one of these actors was offered the role of Caesar Catalina, except for Brad Pitt.
Oh,
I'm happy. I'm happy for a Rob win. Nicolas Cage was the first. Nicolas Cage was the first actor offered the role back in the 80s. I want to say because he's a Coppola.
Yeah, and he was still getting his footing probably because Coppola conceived this originally in 77, I think, right? Something like that.
What's that?
Megalopolis. The idea was like
it was 80s. He started writing it in the 80s.
Got it.
But the last actor that turned down the role he didn't turn it down. He was just too busy. Was Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone else was somewhere in between.
All right.
Except for Brad Pitt.
All right.
I made that up.
All the other ones fit a specific profile. Like Brad Pitt's not like the method kind of guy, but the rest kind of are, you know?
But Brad Pitt is dreamy. I love that guy.
He is dreamy, and he's a good
He's
actor.
dreamy.
But
And he's a good actor.
But it wouldn't fit, you know? It just wouldn't, like, I can imagine everybody else playing Caesar except for him.
Yeah, but like
You know?
I've never thought of a man the way that I think about him. Like it's kind of like the female attractiveness, but like more muscle on him and like
right. But at the same time, I like I like Adam
Driver.
Driver. He's a good actor, but
he's
this
got a penis,
the movie. But the movie still
like,
sucked.
what do I do with that?
Why am I talking over Chris's fraction?
I was intentionally talking over you about how.
No, we got the joke. We got the joke, Chris. We're gonna get the Jelly School Craig bot out of here, and you're gonna crank your hog as hard as you can, thinking about Troy.
Oh my god, yeah, I am. I'm gonna have such a boner that I can jerk it with my armpit, and that's gonna.
I saw what you were trying to do there. Brad Pitt arm. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be like this.
No, that's not. Let's just go to catch all.
Okay, right, catch all.
All right, that's a Rob win.
I can't believe you committed suicide. I cannot believe you committed suicide.
Are you catching all of this?
How could you have done this?
Can I just say one thing before you guys go back and forth? Because I want to see A, if you guys bring it up at all, and B, I want to try knocking one off of you guys for fun. The symbolism is beaten over your head so fucking hard. The one scene with the Vestal Virgin and like the dress that makes her like X-ray, you could see, and someone flat out says like when they're about to expose her for not being a real virgin, like I could see right through her. Like like metaphorically, but like they meant like literally as well. Like,
that's not in mine.
It's a double thing. Yeah,
double thing. Yeah,
you gotta do it twice.
Good job pointing that out, Rob.
Yeah, thank you.
Don't tread on Rob.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Me first, or
no? I think it's been a couple weeks since I've gone first, so I'll go first.
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of jump on what Rob said. All the Greek and Roman symbolism is just lost on me.
Mm-hmm.
If it's even possible to understand in the first place. Like, I just don't. Yeah. I don't know if it's even possible to grasp the symbolism for especially a modern audience. I just don't get it. So I'm going to say, fuck that symbolism.
100%. Couldn't agree more. Number 5 for me. Number 5. If a movie could be a try-hard, this would be it.
Yeah.
You know, this guy says like, I'm this way, and I'm like, nobody can fuck with me because this is the way that I am in life. That's this movie.
Live free or try hard.
Yeah, exactly. This movie is a try-hard somehow. Go ahead, Bob.
I'm going to say it seems shot and edited to be intentionally confusing, though trying to be artistic.
That's the thing.
And I think they failed on both fronts.
Yeah, that is the divide where they try to confuse their dumb audience into thinking that it's something they don't get. And it's like next level. I don't understand it, but it's artistically like beautiful.
Yeah,
but it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
It's so dumb. You guys are not Game of Thrones fans, right? Neither one of you.
Nope.
Never seen it.
Well, that sucks for both of you guys.
Right.
But Miss Sunday is Julian.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the pretty girl that he falls in love with.
Yeah.
In the second half of the movie. That is like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like I feel bad for her because she was Miss Sunday from Game of Thrones, and if you watch Game of Thrones, just a little incentive for you. She has the nicest body like any human has ever had.
Okay.
Like it's perfect. And this whole movie, this is like, so I'm just a man here, but like the whole movie, I was like, they're gonna show her naked. That's why they cast her in this role.
Yeah,
because her body is literally perfect,
Mhm.
and they never do. And I
Yeah.
feel bad for her that she was cast in this role because the movie flopped. I felt
Yeah.
bad that she went from Game of Thrones, one of the most successful shows ever, for a reason, guys, because
Mhm.
everyone can agree that it's a good show if you watch it.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
So I felt,
So I've heard.
Yeah,
From
I
you
felt bad.
specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because it actually is good. You don't have to, you don't have to like fight the tide on every single, storm that comes your way. Just
Yeah.
let it envelop your house and enjoy swimming around with
Right.
your pork chops and your beer. Yeah, it's like
okay.
living in your living room. It's a sauna sometimes. I don't know what I'm saying. Go ahead, Bob.
I was gonna say, is Chris still talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
The wedding scene is one, gross because he's so crazy old,
Yeah, he is.
and two, is just confusing as hell.
Yeah.
Like it's just so much going on. Like that. I want to say that's the theme for almost the entire movie. It's so confusing. Just
Yeah.
too much happening. I can't tell what I'm supposed to be paying attention to or what means anything.
Yeah. I don't know either. My number 3. We kind of we were like fucking around with this idea before, but Alfred Hitchcock, Madison Square Garden, Wall Street, the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like you don't have all these. If it's New Rome and the Roman Empire has been in charge this whole time, you don't have all of these things that they keep referencing, and it's driving me crazy at this point. Like, do you want it to be Rome as it exists today because it never failed, or do you want it to be America? Make up your fucking mind. You don't get to have both.
So I don't think it's. Go ahead, Bob.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say. I was just gonna. You said go ahead, Bob, and then you start talking.
Then you said go
damn it,
ahead. No, you go, then I'll go. It's not important.
You
Go ahead.
you both heard go ahead, Bob, and you started.
Yeah.
It was. It was a thing I read online saying that Caesar at one point says Jesus Christ, and in this universe, Jesus Christ didn't exist because it was New Rome, and that was some sort of alternate universe that didn't have Christianity.
Yeah.
Rob, go ahead. Rob, go ahead. Rob, go ahead.
Wow, salty. Okay. It does. I just put on Wikipedia. It does. It's set in an alternate 21st century New York City, restyled New Rome. I don't know if they explicitly say it in the movie though, but I was thinking it's because I read that before I watched it because it was just like part of the zeitgeist, and I wanted to know, like, before I even chose it for the podcast. I didn't want to research it too heavily, but like it does say it. It is New York, but I don't think it's yeah.
You're right though. You're right.
It's New York, but then they also don't celebrate Christmas. They celebrate Saturnalia, but they have Christmas trees with candy canes and fucking ornaments.
Yeah,
like it has to be both. Yeah. Like they have to usher in enough New York American Christmas for it to make sense to us, and it's just because they had no ambition and they were too afraid. And I fucking hate everything about this. Number 2 for me is with such choppy editing and poor ping, many continuity errors and dumb mistakes happen. Here's an example for you. Caesar goes to visit his wife, and she's like in a coma or not alive at all, because Julian follows him in. And the problem is that Caesar had to have a security guard turn off Mission Impossible laser lights to let him in. And then there is apparently no security at all when she follows him in.
Yeah.
But there are many examples of inconsistencies and continuity errors in this movie just like that drove me fucking crazy. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it was maybe the laziest attempt at a giant, epic message that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree.
And Chris thought that my addition to his last point was my turn, so he went twice in a row. So I'm going to go twice in a row.
Another win for me. Another win.
No, our brains are just fucked after. Our brains are absolutely fucked after watching this. I think none of us are on our A game, and like Baby Boom brought out the worst of us. This has made us infinitely dumber, and we're gonna have to cope with this.
For serious, this movie really fucked me up. Okay, so my last 2 points. I'm just gonna barrel through my last two.
Yeah, do it.
My last two are the random musical interludes are annoying.
Yeah,
but at the same time, hilarious.
Yeah,
like funny because how bad they are. Like just anyway. That's my number two. My last one is and Chris, I hope this isn't yours too. Caesar being shot in the face and healed, even though the bullet went obviously through his brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
Okay. And then they get Megalon fibers to fix his face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob, that is my number one.
And it's also remember in Fateful Findings when he's got the bandage over his face and then the oxygen mask over the bandage. I'm just saying.
I'm consulting my other notebook real quick to make sure that I have a number one of my own.
No, you can double up. It's okay.
No, it's fine. Okay. Number one, Daddy. The tortured genius character portrayal is juvenile and cringy. Plus, he can stop time? What?
Yeah.
No, that's a great number one because what? Yeah, what?
Why can he stop time?
And then she can stop time? And then the baby doesn't respond to stopping time?
Yeah, and if you stop time and like you go time stop and like you dive in front of a bullet or like you move somebody so somebody else gets shot when a gun goes off, but he just stops time, watches the building suspended in air after it's been like they hit the explosion to demolish it, and then he just resumes time and doesn't alter anything. He just wants to like take it all in for a second, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. Like he just liked how dispersed the debris was at that point in time. I don't know, man. What the fuck? I don't get it. All right, what are we watching, guys?
I'm kind of curious what the guys are watching other than videos about
government secrets.
This is what we're watching.
Oh, right.
I don't know. I never have anything interesting to say here. I'm watching Jingle All the Way.
No,
about
you
time.
are not.
I am.
Those are my cookies.
Put the cookie down now. I don't know. I fucking love that movie. I watch it every year.
It's pretty good.
Christmas.
Phil Hartman.
Like so fun. Yeah, Phil Hartman is like he's like clutch.
Such a slime bag. Yeah.
I don't know. We had a if you wanna go deep into our lore, the worst movie ever made lore, you can hear a female comedian from like fucking Atlanta or something.
Oh yeah, she had a hard out in the middle of her show that she didn't tell us about until we started recording.
Yeah, we had
Kendra Crump.
Female, Kendra Crump.
Yeah,
yeah. In the middle of our episode, she's
had
like,
a hard out.
I'm out. I got to do another podcast, and we were like, "Okay, thanks for joining us. We're not sure why you did, but it was
remember
fun."
that.
And
I listened to that. That's before I was on board, but I still listened to it.
Yeah, that was pre-Catwoman.
Hey, to her credit, I think she actually did watch the movie for us.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, because she like knew shit about it. She was like, "Wait, is that when like Sinbad was like the guy with the green suit?" I was like, "Yeah, good job, like actually watching the movie for us. Thank you." But yeah, they're hard out halfway through. I'm still watching Jingle All the Way though.
Okay.
I don't know. There's something about it's a bad movie, but something about it appeals to me.
It's fun.
Also, I want to plug something that an employee of mine, I shouldn't say that. I'm her boss, but she knows more about Olive Garden than I ever will. Her name is Grace, and she plugged a podcast to me called "My Dad Wrote a Porno." And if you haven't heard about this, it's a British guy. I shouldn't even say this on her. I shouldn't out her like that. I'm so sorry, Grace. But it's a British guy whose father wrote a pornography. An erotic novel, actually a set of erotic novels called Belinda Blinks. And he is not good at writing. And it's really funny to hear a British guy and his comedian friends make fun of the book that he wrote. Because it's like Belinda is in a meeting and then all of a sudden she just pulls her tits out. And and the people who are commenting on this porno that his dad wrote are just like polite sounding British people, and something about it works really well. I will say that the audio is bad though, so like Grace, I'm sorry. I'm trying to catch up. I'm trying to listen to it, but I can't listen to it in the car, and I won't listen to it at home because I have like better things to do. So I'm having a hard time. And
kids.
Yeah, right. I'm having like a hard time finding time for it, but it is legitimately very funny. The author, who calls himself Rocky Flintstone, this British guy's dad, described a pair of tits as like hanging there like a pair of grapefruits or something like that. And
bags of sand.
Popping like a vaginal popping my vaginal lids or something. Like this guy has no idea how to write an erotic novel, and it sounds insane and it's super funny. So check out.
I'll check that out. That sounds good.
It's on Spotify, at the very least.
Nice.
So go ahead, Bob.
All right, so I this is oddly related to a theme that you just mentioned.
Oh.
I was recommended a movie. It was an independent movie from the Czech Republic called Her Body from 2023. It's called Her Body, but it was a different name in the Czech Republic. It was something I can't pronounce. So it's a biopic, which I typically don't like. Anytime anyone says, "Hey, you should watch this," like Ray or Walk the Line.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, I'm not gonna watch that.
The Dirt.
But they're super famous, so I feel like that's I think one of the reasons I don't watch them. So this one is about a highly successful platform diver in Czech Republic, and she qualifies for the Olympic team.
Cool.
And this is actually a true story. And we see her family system and her sister, who's also a diver at the same university. But then one final competition before the Olympics, she fractures one of her vertebrae. And she's never allowed to platform dive again. And it sounds like a tragedy, right? But no, her photographer boyfriend shoots porno as one of his side jobs. And she's intrigued and auditions and eventually has a pretty successful career as a porno actress.
All right, big win.
Yeah.
Right. But then the tragedy comes. Here's the tragedy comes.
Now?
The tragedy comes that she develops brain cancer and dies at 27 years old. She dies when she's 27 years old.
Wow.
And this is a true story. That's like 100% true. They changed the names. That's about the only thing they changed. Everything else is the same. I usually don't like biopics. This one was interesting. It was shot well. It was better than Megalopolis. The cast crew deserve accolades. They made a movie. It didn't suck. Even though she did.
And so was it called My Springboard? By the end, it took a plunge. because I was like erect during this whole conversation until the 27 cancer comment, and then
here's the thing that got me. I'm watching this, right? And I knew because I read the premise where it was going.
Yeah.
But then they showed actual like erect penis penetration. And I'm like, holy shit.
Wow. In the documentary?
I wasn't expecting them to like show everything. I was expecting like the insinuation. And when they showed everything, I was like, holy fuck. But
damn.
it is Czech Republic. It was not filmed in the States.
Yeah.
So and it was it was an indie film.
Yeah.
So I gave it a pass on that one. But honestly, it wasn't that bad.
Right.
It was. I told you the whole thing though, so there's no surprises. So don't bother.
Okay.
At home, like.
There's an Action Bronson lyric that's prescient here. It's I'm diving in like Luganus. I'm aiming right for that anus.
Hey, we don't know. Bob did not mention what kind of.
Okay, what kind of pennies?
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
So I finished the Neil Breen catalog. I am working my way through his 5-hour retrospective that came out before Cade Torture Crossing, and it's him talking about his 5 films before that. And it's one of those things like he's selling it like a course. It costs like $128 on his site if you want to purchase like the physical copy, which is on a DVD-R that he produces himself. But he talks about like lighting and editing and sound design. Meanwhile, he's talking to the camera from 2 separate rooms. It goes back and forth, and the audio's not even, the lighting's not even. He's talking about how great he is for doing these things professionally, but his masterclass on how to do it is like the most slapdick thing I've ever seen in my life. So it's fantastic, and I still don't know if he's self-aware and it's all a joke, and he's just like doing it. But it's fascinating. You guys need to catch up with me. You need to get on my level with Brain.
Well, we're trying, but we're leaving it for the podcast.
They're all on the Google Drive, man. Just make a day of it.
I know.
But I also watched Bo Burnham's Inside special. So like he's like the musical comedian. He does lots of skits.
Yeah.
It's like half stand up, half. So in like 2016, he started having like a nervous breakdown, like panic attacks on stage. He said he's not going to perform anymore, and then he was about to get ready to go out and perform again, and then COVID happened. So he locked himself in his guest house with all this camera equipment and lighting and music equipment and no crew. And then he made an hour-long special. It's like a variety between skits, songs, like one-man show type of stuff.
Yeah.
And you see his hair get longer and more disheveled. You see his beard like fill out, and he gets more and more just existentially unhinged as it goes on.
Oh,
but
as we all did during COVID.
But it's fantastic. It's like it never stops being hilarious. But like the isolation is captured very well. And it's worth a watch. I know you don't like stand-up comedy, Chris. I know you do, Bob, to an extent. I think I probably like more than both of you guys as far as like what I go to for like comfort watching. But it's a solid watch. It's a young man unraveling during the pandemic, trying to make a comedy special by himself in his house, and it's good. It won a bunch of Peabodys and shit. Or how many? Can you win more than one Peabody? I don't know. It won a bunch of shit. It's cool though. Offensive minigame.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Cool.
Wait, no.
Sometimes movies.
Go on.
Bad credit names.
Oh, that's right.
Let's stay consistent, you know?
Phil
We
Ditto.
didn't.
Buddy Joe Hooker. Gail Hooker. Donald Pitts. Addie Buckby. Tooney Pham. Ritwick Chatterjee. Gordon Wang. And Ulysses Dickman.
Ulysses Dickman. That's good.
Ulysses Dickman. All right, let's now throw it to the offensive minigame.
That was my bad. See, our brain's been scrambled, man. Our brain's been scrambled.
Sometimes movies are just so offensive.
There are no other therapists
that could help me get over it. This is the offensive minigame.
All right, business hours over. Beers and burgers.
All right.
Or Swastika Stump.
Yeah, Stump.
Yeah. I don't know. I've worked in hospitality, so yeah, Swastika. Just
sure, because if you go the other way, I'll support you.
The anti-Semitism is worse, but I have a personal bias towards last call violators.
Yeah, but like Jews make up like what 8% of the entire world's population, and people who don't want to like serve like a guest 10 minutes before they close is like 30% of the population, right?
I'm still going with the swastika.
Fine.
Yeah.
All right, Seagal seppuku or ruining the Romans.
Seppuku.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Seagal because fuck Seagal.
Bob, you didn't say seppuku, could you?
Seppuku.
No, I'm not gonna say it.
Seppuku.
I'm not gonna be offensive to whatever nationality that is or language that is.
It should be the Taiwanese hills. The hill tribes of Taiwan.
I teach at public school. I can curse all I want, but I can't make fun of an ethnicity.
Yes,
seppuku. I said seppuku about 9 times during that exchange.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So Bob doesn't want to be offensive to the hill tribes of Taiwan. The boner and arrow, or the Cajun accent. I told you it was coming.
Cajun accent. It's almost as bad as seppuku.
I'm gonna say the Cajun accent, even though the boner and arrow is so funny.
It's not offensive though. I wouldn't. That's like just John Voight. That's just who he is in my head ever since Anaconda.
He's so awful.
So flabby.
It's like a scrotum stretched over a mannequin. It's disgusting.
That's amazing because it's so accurate. So we're going Cajun accent?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Well, then we know who won the offensive minigame. Let's go to our movie comparison.
I resign today as president of the bank.
Inconvenient truth. None of this makes sense. Let's just compare the movies.
Force of Execution or Megalopolis.
Oh, God.
Pitch, 4.5 star. Chris win on Force of Execution. Great job, Chris. But you unfortunately took the L because Bob got a 5-star on this one. Great job, Bob. It takes a lot to beat Chris at anything, so great job. Their offensive minigame, we already know. Megalopolis just won. We determined. Dialogue, though, what's worse, Force of Execution or Megalopolis? I don't know. They're two different things, and I hate them both.
They're very different things.
Okay, so I'm gonna say Force of Execution because here's the thing. They're so equally bad. You have to go, in my mind, what the intent versus the execution was, and I think Force of Execution was trying to be badass and failed miserably, whereas I think everybody did what they were supposed to do for Megalopolis. I think Coppola was pleased with what he got out of it.
Yeah.
Whereas
but that's more acting in my opinion, but I don't disagree.
I think it's both.
I think the dialogue in general for Force of Execution was worse. Though I think Rob's argument is going toward acting.
I think you're probably right about that actually. But I think I'm going to make the same point for the dialogue though. Either way.
Yeah.
Well, acting when we get to it then. No story, no continuity for Force of Execution, or rejected and sloppy for Megalopolis.
I'm going to go Megalopolis because it also has no story or continuity. So it's got both.
And honestly,
you're right. You're 100%
I think Force of Execution uses shadow and just overall mood
it had better cinematography.
Better than Megalopolis.
Better cinematography.
I felt like I was in the movie more than I would. Megalopolis, I felt I was watching someone's student film, and Force of Execution, I felt like I was watching someone's finished film, but
Megalopolis was like, all right, we're going to make a cartoon, but first we're going to act it out with humans, and then you're going to draw the cartoon from that.
Yeah, that's pretty much you're exactly right.
acting, what was worse? I think Force of Execution was worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Like once again, I think Megalopolis was acted adequately for what they were going for.
Yeah.
It's just what it was going for wasn't good. Whereas I think for Force of Execution, they genuinely thought like, yeah, this is badass, and then it wasn't.
No,
I thought it was funny though. I told my 19-year-old son that Shia LaBeouf was in this, and he said they cast Shia LaBeouf in a 2024 movie. Like, what are they thinking?
That's why it was offensive.
Exactly.
Well, demerits, we haven't picked one out for Megalopolis yet, but we do have the Cajun accent for Force of Execution. What do you guys want to say is the demerit for Megalopolis? 2D?
Patronizing philosophy.
Yes, I'm with Rob.
Because like there's if they like the whole like we can see right through her thing. That's the one that really struck me over the head. It's just like we would have gotten it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's worse, Cajun accent or patronizing philosophy?
Patronizing philosophy, I think.
Yeah, I agree. That's gonna make it a tie, isn't it?
That doesn't. No, that would have made it a tie if it went the way of Force of Execution. Instead, 4-2 victory for Megalopolis as the worst movie we have done so far this season, which ain't a lot because last week we did a Steven Seagal straight-to-video fucking movie.
Yeah,
Not
and
a
Megalopolis is worse.
2024, $128 million budget movie. So there you go. It deserves being
feels
shit
right.
on like it was. Yeah. No, but it does.
Feels
it
right.
Does. It absolutely does feel right. So what I'm doing now is taking a live look in at what we're doing next week. We already know that the worst of the season is Megalopolis. So what is that going up against? I'll tell you in just a second when I switch profiles from my So Christoph right now Instagram profile to my worst movie ever made profile, and then I have to go X out. We're going to go into archives, and we're going to see what's going on. Aaron, stop texting me while I'm trying to get into our archives. Stop. I don't care that you sleep. I love you. You're never going to listen to this. You're hot, but you're annoying. How about that? You're never going to hear that, are you? You would know what I just said. You could yell at me for it. Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo, 61% wins the vote.
Great.
Next
Rob,
week,
I might need help with the download on that one because I was looking for it and I can't find it.
I'll look for it in the morning when I'm done with the post production for this one.
All right, I'll let you know. I'll let you know if I get it by morning, but I don't know. I've been trying and I can't find it.
All right.
Well, I'm terrible at anything that's smart people stuff. So there you go. I can't help you. But anyway, Rob, why don't you plug us and then throw to Bob for his last word?
All right. You can find us at www.theworstmovieevermade.com. It's a link tree page. It takes you to the Instagram and the TikTok and the Spotify and the Apple and the email and the YouTube. We're everywhere. We are fucking everywhere. There's 180 of these or 181 of these. And just go through our catalog. There's Jingle All the Way. There's Christmas with the Cranks. There's the Grinch. We have a Christmas catalog. We've done this for years.
We do.
So if you're getting in the holiday mood, you can just go just search the titles. Cat in the Hat. That's not Christmas, but it sucks.
It might as well be.
Yeah, but like just go to the webpage and click it, and then contact us and like vote on the polls and watch the trailers and engage with us because this is just it's a masterclass of how not to run a podcast and how not to watch movies because we've been at this for so long and we still fuck it up every week, namely me this time because my computer updated right before we started. And it's great because that rage translates into the episode and we try to be funny about it. And Chris is half drunk and Bob gets mad that I interrupt him because we both said, go ahead, Bob, go ahead, Rob. And it canceled out and I just went ahead. So like we're a well-oiled machine and you can hear all at www.theworstmovieevermade.com. And Bob, you texted me about the last word. Should I just go ahead and go for it right now?
Yeah, the last word is best said by Adam Driver when he says,
So,
Aaron, I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that blast. You're not annoying. I love you.
Electric Boogaloo next week. Thanks for listening. Watch Megalopolis or don't. I don't give a shit.
Fabulous. And thank you, Shmay. I don't know. I'm just trying to make it part of the.
My brother
ritual.
has talked. He's talked me into doing Dungeons and Dragons over my Christmas break.
Nice.
That's Shmay for you.
I always wanted to get into that, but I feel like you need a lot, like, imagination and time. My imagination doesn't work that way.
The game or the movie?
The game. I'm talking about the game.
Is there a movie?
They made one.
There is. It came out like last year.
All right.
It's probably not good.
Probably not. All right, bye, Jelly
It's based on a game that's probably not good.